scores! Sens with a one-timer, scores!
Great save made by Gustafsson. Right here, what an awesome pass through the slot, onto the stick of Pettersson. Kachuk in tight up, let's get going, scores! Brady Kachuk wins it in overtime for Ottawa.
Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon and I am your host. Today was day number 2 of the National Hockey League Draft, and we're going to break it all down for you today as Ottawa had 9 selections in today's second part of the draft. Last night was the first round of the National Hockey League. If you don't know already, Ottawa did not make a selection last night because they acquired 40-plus goal scorer Alex DeBrincat from the Chicago Blackhawks. If you want my full reaction to that massive blockbuster trade, I'll link the video to that in the description below. I highly encourage you to check that one out. So let's get into it. We're going to break down all 9 selections Ottawa made today. Let's start it off with Swedish defenseman Filip Nordberg, who went 64th overall to the Ottawa Senators. Now look, he's a left-handed defenseman at 6'4", 207 pounds. Last season, Nordberg in the Swedish National Junior League played in 42 games played with 6 goals and 21 assists for 27 points total. Now draft expert Steve Kornanen said this about Nordberg: a massive kid with soft hands and decent puck skill, hard, crisp first pass, plays a tough and physical game, a crease clear, and is a low slot defender with a very long reach. Now, you know what they say, you can't teach size, and watching some of these clips of Nordberg's game makes it clear that his skating abilities are far better than most raw talents with that size frame. At 6'4", he is a great skater. Now just watch his blue line pivot here and puck control by Nordberg as he feeds his teammate with a great chance that unfortunately goes wide. But look how Nordberg locks down the blue line, chips a nice pass over to his teammate, which is kind of fumbled. But look, Nordberg notices the fumble, picks the puck up, and snipes it top shelf to give a goal for him. And look, that's a great example of what Nordberg's game might be for the Ottawa Senators in the future. And based on the profiles I've read on this player, and thanks to his frame and skating abilities that are clearly on display with those clips, I can see Nordberg becoming a solid second pairing two-way defenseman with some offensive upside. With the 72nd overall selection in this year's draft, the Ottawa Senators selected Swedish right winger Oskar Pettersson. Now, Pettersson 6'2", 198 pounds, so a very, very big-bodied, winger, big frame there. He played in the Junior 20 Swedish National League last year, producing 36 points, 25 goals in 46 games played. Now, draft expert Steve Kornanen said this about the player. He compared him to Chris Kreider because he's a net front type who cannot be moved out easily in front of the net. Great hands and finishes around the net as well, and plays a heavy type of game. Now, look, it's a bit of a reach to draft Pettersson 72nd overall, especially when you compare it to draft rankings that were put out before the draft begun. On average in those rankings, Pettersson was going around 180 to 200 overall, but frankly, I don't really care. Look, the kid is clearly a goal scorer. He has a heavy NHL caliber shot, as you can see on the screen right now, while also having good situational awareness, often banging in goals in front of the net. If his skating can continue on its current developmental path, as his transition game on the goal you're seeing on the screen right now is truly fantastic. Look at that reception of the pass, and look at the way he beats that defender too with a great stride, and look at that finish there, great shot. If he can put it all together and keep on developing that skating abilities, that shot's already NHL caliber, and because of this, with that frame too, an enormous frame, I can absolutely see Pettersson becoming a future third-line winger with some offensive upside for the Ottawa Senators. With the 87th overall selection in this year's draft, Ottawa took another defenseman from the Czech Republic, Tomas Hamara. He's a left-handed defenseman at 6 foot, 185 pounds, and according to Elite Prospects, Hamara recognizes time and space, and with his vision is able to feed his teammates with nice, long-stretch passes. He also is quite physical in the defensive zone and worked well under pressure. Now, he appeared in 24 Liga games last year, which is the top, Finnish hockey league. It's a tough league. A lot of older veteran players play there. He recorded 2 assists, but most importantly, he played in 24 games, so he has some experience against some tough competition. He also had 25 points, 6 of those were goals in 32 games in Finland's under 20 league. Great value pick here for the Senators as well, as he was drafted 20 or so picks below where he was expected to be drafted today. So great pick here for the Ottawa Senators, good value. He was also tied for second among all defenders in points with 8 at the under 18 tournament last year for Czechia as well. He also, most importantly, frankly, grew up idolizing Tom Chabot as he watched him at the World Juniors. I think that's pretty cool as well. Got a bit of a Sens fan here with this pick. Now, similar to Nordberg, Hamara's skating abilities and offensive awareness allows him to be a projectable NHL defenseman. Likely is a 4 or 5 guy on your pairings who can quarterback the second wave of a power play. Like you've been seeing on your screen, Hamara is clearly a fantastic puck mover and even better skater. So he definitely projects as an NHL guy in the 4-5 range because of his frame and size. He's a little shorter, but he's still big enough to be an NHL defenseman. He has that dynamicness enough to be a good offensive defenseman, and I think he's got a good enough skating abilities to be in that 4-5 range. So he definitely projects as an NHL defender and potentially a power play quarterback as well. With the 104th overall selection this year's draft, the Ottawa Senators selected center Stephen Halliday. And let me tell you something. Look at your screen right now. This is not just some center. This is a massive center. Look at this picture. Stephen Halliday looks like a man playing amongst little children in this picture. He's massive, huge frame. He's at 6'4", 209 pounds. He's a massive center. And the overager had an insane season last year in the USHL, playing in 62 games with 35 goals, 60 assists for 95 points total. Great production there. He's committed to play at Ohio State next season in the NCAA. Now look, FC Hockey put out the scouting report on the guy. He's a straight line skater, does not have great speed, but has enough to make his size difficult to play against. Solid on his crossover, but could use more drive to keep his feet moving. So look, due to his sheer absurdity of his frame as a whole, 209 pounds, 6'4", Halliday can absolutely make it to the National Hockey League based off of his frame alone, but it's his skating that's going to hold him back. I project him as a depth NHLer who you can put on your fourth line potentially and expect a physical game from, but unless his skating gets better, he's just not going to be able to keep up in the National Hockey League, so he's probably going to be more of a depth type of guy, good AHLer, or at the max maybe a good fourth line guy who can play some physical minutes for you. With the 136th overall selection in this year's draft, the Ottawa Senators have selected Jorian Donovan, and a great pick here, the son of former Ottawa Senator Sean Donovan. This is awesome. He's a great prospect, and Derek Lee, who joined the show for our draft preview a few days ago, actually predicted this. He predicted that the Ottawa Senators would select Jorian Donovan, so I'm going to throw it to Derek Lee to let him break down the prospect for you guys, to let you know what you're getting in Jorian Donovan.
Jorian Donovan, who is the son of current Sens player development coach Sean Donovan, former Ottawa Senator Sean Donovan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another player that for me, I actually have a bet with someone on who works for the Ottawa Senators that that the Senators are going to select Jorian Donovan. So I'm kind of hoping that they do, because
sounds like they might
owe me. This person's going to owe me a dinner when they do, because I put that's what I put on the line here for Jorian Donovan.
Nice little lobster dinner.
Exactly, man. He's a left shot defenseman. Just to give you some details, he's a big guy. He's 6'2", 188 pounds, plays for the Hamilton Bulldogs. He put up 22 points, I think, in 64 games played. So he's not an offensive animal at all, but another guy who kind of safely projects as an NHL player down the road. And we're talking 3-4 years down the road.
At 143rd overall, the Ottawa Senators selected right winger Cameron O'Neill. His stat line with a AAA USA high school last season is absolutely ridiculous. 62 games played, 57 goals, 76 assists for 133 points total. Yes, that's right, 133 points. Next year, he will be playing in the USHL, however, so some tougher competition for him. And the year after that, he is committed to U Massachusetts as well of the NCAA. So, look, it's tough to project what he can become, but definitely keep an eye on this kid as he plays against tougher competition going into next year. With the 151st selection in this year's draft, the Ottawa Senators took Swedish goaltender Kevin Reidler. Now, Reidler is 6'6", 201 pounds, big goaltender, massive frame, and he played quite a bit in Sweden last year, but he moved around a lot in the different junior levels in Sweden. Look, you can see it on your screen now. He put up some impressive numbers. In the regional under-18 league, he had a .930 save percentage and a 1.83 goals against average. Pretty good. In the national under-18 league for Sweden, .910 save percentage, above 3 goals against average, so a little less good in the goals against average department, but save percentage is pretty solid. But when you look against under 20, so you move up the rank to the next level at under 20 national play for Reidler, he had an .847 save percentage and a 4.33 goals against average. So based off of these numbers, it's pretty clear that he will need a few more seasons to develop his game. Goalies are tough to project, however, but with his size, he can certainly turn into a good goaltender, so keep an eye on this kid as well, similar to what happened with Levi Merlanen a few years back. With the 168th overall selection this year's draft, the Ottawa Senators selected Swedish defenseman Theo Wallberg. Now, the left-handed defenseman, 6'4", 187 pounds. I think we're starting to see a pattern here. Quite a bit of left-handed defensemen with big frames drafted by Ottawa today. But look, he put up solid numbers in 46 games with the National Junior League in Sweden last year, producing 23 points. 2 of those were goals. Here's a draft profile of Wallberg from hockeyprospect.com. They said Wallberg is huge at 6'4". He's a giant on the ice, and boy, he can move too. He's not only tall, but he's sturdy and physically developed as well. Wallberg flies on the ice and is not shy of utilizing his strong lower body to gain speed to attack and defend. So look, there's virtually no footage of Wallberg on the internet, not even pictures. The picture you just saw of Wallberg is literally a cutout I found online from the Swedish National Junior League on Twitter. I mean, there's literally no pictures of the guy. I literally had to cut out a graphic of Wallberg to get a picture of him so you can kind of see what he looks like. So based off of literally no footage, I have no idea what the guy really looks like or plays like. Based solely on what I've read online about the kid and on his frame too, 6'4", massive frame, I can safely project him as a potential future NHL shutdown defender. It all depends on whether or not his skating abilities can continue to progress, because if his skating is good with that frame, he certainly can be a shutdown defender in the NHL one day. With the 206th and final selection of this year's draft for the Ottawa Senators, they have selected center Tyson Dyck. Now, Dyck is 6 foot, 170 pounds, and last year in the BCHL, he scored 34 goals and 41 assists for 75 total points in a very tough league like the BCHL. Those are pretty solid numbers. Now, he is committed to UMass of the NCAA in 2023-2024, and from highlights, he looks like a forward with soft hands and great edge work. Great hands, by the way, silky hands like you just saw on the screen there, where he tried to do the Michigan. But he can certainly become a middle six scoring winger if his development keeps up. Let's see how he does in NCAA with UMass. And look, I think Ottawa does this a lot. They take a lot of swings on guys like this in the later rounds. I think this is another type of player that truly can be a sleeper pick for the Ottawa Senators, because those hands are filthy and his skating and edge work is phenomenal. So I think for a 7th round pick, this is as good as it gets, and really excited to see how he continues to progress. I'm excited to see what happens with him. Now let's wrap up today's video. So my final draft ranking looks like this. The Senators often selected players in very good value, and the players Ottawa brought in for the most part have the tools to become solid National Hockey League players, primarily with their defenseman they picked up today. Big frame defenseman with good skating abilities. I love that. I always say it in these prospect type videos, but if you're a good skater, it makes it much easier for you to transfer over to the National Hockey League, because skating is usually what makes or breaks prospects and their ability to play in the National Hockey League. So look, overall, I think this draft was a B+ for the Ottawa Senators. They hardly reached on players. They selected players at a credible value and acquired a 40+ goal scorer with their 7th overall selection. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Let me know what your ranking is. I look forward to reading all your comments as well. Let me know what you think is the most exciting and intriguing prospect Ottawa got in this year's draft. Besides that, thank you all for watching. I'll see you soon, likely for a trade, so I'll see you for that. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And most importantly of all, turn the notification bell on to get notified whenever we upload a new video. Besides that, thank you for watching, and welcome everyone to the nation's capital of Ottawa. We're looking forward to having you a part of this organization. Go Sens, go.